Hey everybody, I'm going to give you a different perspective on the Mandela Effect today. In fact, it is the absolute complete reverse perspective on the Mandela Effect. I'm not going to explain how we know the Mandela Effect is really occurring because anybody listening to this video probably already knows that, based on residual proof available all over the place, especially on certain channels who are really, really good at collecting residual proof of how things used to be before they were changed, and the many flip-flops back and forth between the way things used to be, the way they became, and now they went back to the way they used to be. So you can gorge yourself for days on YouTube videos showing you residual proof of the Mandela Effect, which from time to time is always fun to do, and to always catch up on new ones is also fun, especially changes to the human body, which are amazing, and they continue to occur day by day by day. Things are constantly changing now, and perhaps the speed in which things are changing, matter around us, is picking up a bit, speeding up a bit, and happening a little more quickly now, which coincides with the fact that time is passing faster now, and there are all kinds of videos showing you how to prove to yourself that time is actually going faster. You don't just think it's going faster, it is. But then again, there's always the possibility that we're just slowing down. Our consciousness is slowing down, our vision, our perception is slowing down, and that would make the time around us appear to be going faster. So, I'm not really sure which one is the absolute truth, whether time is going faster or whether our perception of time is slowing down. But back on topic. I was walking my dog last night and I could see some stars, which is very rare with all the chemtrailing to actually see stars anymore. And they did appear brighter and they did appear closer than I remember them being a long time ago or a few years ago. And as I was walking, I was thinking, stars, I remember how you used to look. I looked at the constellation of Orion. I studied astronomy, not astrology, but astronomy at university. So I actually know a lot of the constellations. I just can't see many of them anymore because of the chemtrailing. And I was looking at Orion, and it was absolutely huge in the night sky, and it used to be much smaller and appear to be much further away. And I just said to Orion, I said, I remember when you were very small in the night sky and didn't take up 50% of the night sky. Not that I mind. I don't even mind the Mandela Effect. I don't mind that matter is shifting and changing around me constantly because I'm comfortable with the idea that it's mind over matter, that as our minds change, matter changes. It responds to our thinking and feeling process. And as collective minds change, then collective matter responds to that and changes as well. So that doesn't bother me. I understand it. I get it. It's not a scary thing. It's a process. It's the way it works. But I was thinking, as I was saying to Orion, not that I think Orion can hear me, but who knows, right? Stars could be a different kind of being and a different dimensional being that can actually hear. I don't know. I don't know a star up close and personal enough to say, hey, are you alive? Are you a conscious being? Can you hear us? So as I'm saying to Orion, you know what? I remember when you used to be very, very small in the night sky, and now you're absolutely huge. It hit me. I realized that I am a keeper of memory, or we collectively who are Mandela affected are keepers of the memories. Think about that. All these people who don't see matter changing around them constantly are saying to us, it's false memory. You don't remember correctly. So say Jiffy peanut butter used to be Jiffy, and then it changes to Jif. And the majority of the people go, it's always been that way. And we go, no, 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 it used to be Jiffy. And they go, no, you just don't remember it correctly. And we say, but here's the residual proof. We can find it all over the internet that it used to be Jiffy and now it's Jif. And they just simply turn away, turn a blind eye, and refuse to look at that evidence because that would upset their paradigm of how the world works and what reality is. So they won't go down that rabbit hole with us and actually look at the evidence, but they'll still claim you are experiencing false memory because you think you remember it differently. And the very, very, very factual truth is people who see the Mandela Effect, which really should be called quantum awakening, as Shane and Spirit Walker, Unbiased and on the Fence and Spirit Walker, and I have been saying, it's, the Mandela Effect is the norm to describe matter changing, matter responding to mind. It really should be called quantum awakening, something to do with mind over matter, because that's a more accurate title of what we are collectively experiencing within the Mandela Effect community. And what we're experiencing is the memory, the true, accurate, factual memories of how things used to be before the collective human consciousness changed them. So we are the keepers of the memory. I am a keeper of memory. Somehow there is a smaller group of us that has attained the ability to keep accurate memories of how things used to be, as they're constantly shifting and changing all around us in response to collective beliefs, collective thoughts, and collective feelings. And this is going to become a very, very important tool. It's not so important yet. Right now, it's about car logos and names of products and TV shows, and it's about song lyrics and movie lines and movie titles, which doesn't seem on the surface very important. It does feel important when you see the changes to the geographic and geological earth occurring. And then when you see the changes to the King James Bible, that becomes important to people who hold that Bible very important to them. And when you see changes to the human body, that feels more important than perhaps changes to book titles and song lyrics, etc. But this is nothing compared to what I believe is yet to come. And that is that there are people who have not lost their ability to hold the memories of what was before. And that's going to become a very, very, very important skill as things progress here, as changes occur more often. And perhaps we're going to see political changes, and we'll say, hang on a second, we remember when it was X and when it was Z, and now the law has changed to Y. Now, the reason I bring that up is that I watched Sane Progressive, and she did a video on the fact that in 2012, the United States government, Congress, bipartisan bill supported by the Democrats and the Republicans equally, passed a law that made it legal for the United States government to lie to the United States people. It's legal for them to lie. And as a consequence, all of these crisis staging, acting groups, organizations, corporations tied to security firms have popped up. So they can literally reenact a chemical weapons attack, a nuclear attack, a shooting anywhere, a bombing anywhere. They've got the people lined up advertising on the internet to provide those skills to enact those kinds of scenarios. And now that it's legal for the American government to lie to the American people, which we used to call propaganda, we used to say, hey, if they're not telling you the truth and it's a political lie, that's propaganda. They're telling you the political lie to get you to think and act in a certain way that benefits them. and basically supports the changes they want. But they know they can't get those changes with the truth, so they're lying to get the changes they want and get the support from you based on lies, inaccuracies, falsehoods, because that's the only way they can get you to support it. So, I mean, in modern history, the masters of political manipulation on the public and propaganda were the Nazis. And then you read up on Project Paperclip and you find out that America brought into the government, top Nazis after World War II. So is it any surprise now that our government is operating with legalizing political propaganda in the year 2012? I'll drop some links here. They'll probably come later after I upload this video and I have time to look them up and drop them in. So after you listen to this, come back in a day and see if there's any links later in the day that you'd like to read. And just to be clear, this is an opinion channel. These are my opinions. This is based on my research. I highly recommend anybody listening to me to do your own research. Take this as a starting point of the discussion and then go off and verify my opinions before you hold them as your own and see both sides of the story. But I can tell you right now from where I'm standing, political propaganda has been legalized. And more people are coming out with this now. So you will be bumping into it elsewhere if you don't have time to look it up for yourself. My question is, did that really happen, or is that a Mandela effect? In 2012, did Congress actually vote to legalize lying to the American public? Or in the reality in which we're living and we find ourselves now, is that a law? Did it happen? I wasn't here. I was living and working in Europe when that law was passed. So I can't really say for sure. And with the government being able to legally lie to us at any time they please, and with the Mandela effect in full operation, it's very, very hard to believe anything until you've seen it for yourself. And for some, that's a really uncomfortable place to be. It raises either anger or fear response in them. It doesn't raise an anger response in me, and it doesn't raise a fear response in me. I think it's completely normal to live in a reality where thoughts are more powerful than matter, and thoughts have an effect and change matter. And when you have a lot of collective thought coming together in agreement on something, then that matter is going to change for everybody. So just remember that as a Mandela affected or quantum awakening person, you are a holder of memory, and you are part of a community that are the holders of memories. We remember how things were, and we always will. We can't be fooled by changing matter. Whenever it changes, we're going to notice, because that's how our consciousness works differently to the majority of people on the planet. They do not have the ability yet. Maybe they will. Who knows? Maybe we can help them get to that point where when changes occur, they also say, hang on a minute, yesterday it was this way. Why is it different today? So this is a skill set that is important right now. It's powerful to be able to remember. It helps you to make more better informed choices when you can remember how things were. And I mean, imagine people walking around in complete amnesia. They have no idea what came before, so how can they decide on what to do now that will impact the future if they can't remember what came before? So it's a very powerful and important skill that you have. And I think it's going to become even more important and even more powerful as a group in the future. Okay, everybody, much love. See you soon. Bye.